All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma. The headlines. Centre to roll out new integrated food security scheme from today. Over 81 crore people to get free food grain. Government reviews COVID situation in the country at a high-level meeting. RT-PCR test made mandatory for flyers coming from China and 5 other countries from today. India to assume chairmanship of Wassenaar Arrangement for 1 year today. People across the globe welcome New Year with dazzling fireworks and electrifying music. And Yuki Bhambri and Ramkumar Ramanathan enter second round in men's singles event at Maharashtra Open tennis tournament in Pune. The centre will roll out new integrated food security scheme from today. As per the decision of the Union Cabinet, the new scheme will provide free food grains to over 81 crore beneficiaries under National Food Security Act (NFSA) in 2023. The scheme will also ensure effective and uniform implementation of the Act. Free food grains will concurrently ensure uniform implementation of portability under the One Nation, One Ration Card scheme across the country. Our correspondent reports that the new scheme is aimed at bringing uniformity and clarity on food security under the NFSA.
Under the scheme, the central government will provide free food grains to all NFSA beneficiaries, including Antyodaya Ann Yojana households and priority household persons. The food grains will be provided through the widespread network of over 5 lakh fair price shops across the country. The central government will bear the food subsidy of more than 2 lakh crore rupees in 1 year. The decision will strengthen the provisions of NFSA in terms of accessibility, affordability and availability of food grains for the poor. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
The government reviewed the COVID-19 situation in the country and compliance of previous directions from the Prime Minister at a high-level meeting in New Delhi yesterday to ensure preparedness and its effective management. The meeting was chaired by Dr. P.K. Mishra, Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister. During the meeting, Dr. Mishra was apprised of the evolving global scenario of the pandemic with spikes in COVID cases in a few countries, including China, Japan, South Korea, Singapore and Brazil. It was informed that as many as 1,716 international flights have been screened and over 5,000 samples collected for COVID-19 testing. During the review meeting, it was stated that whole genome sequencing is being strengthened to ensure that larger number of samples are sent to Indian SARS-CoV-2 Genomics Consortium Network. The status of COVID vaccination was also reviewed during the meeting. The government has said that RT-PCR test has been made mandatory for flyers coming from China, Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, Singapore and Thailand from today. The passengers have to upload their reports on the Air Suvidha portal before travel. The Union Health Ministry said the test should have been conducted within 72 hours of undertaking the journey to India. This requirement is in addition to the random 2% tests of all international passengers in all incoming international flights on their arrival to India. The ministry said this is being done in view of the evolving COVID-19 situation across the world. Air travellers to Canada from China must test negative for COVID-19 no more than 2 days before departure. Canada has joined other nations that have implemented such restrictions. The new requirements will be effective from Thursday. It will apply to all travellers aged 2 and older on Canadian-bound flights originating from the People's Republic of China, Hong Kong and Macau. South Korea, Spain and France on Friday joined a growing list of countries including the United States, Britain and India that have imposed COVID tests for travellers from China. In China, around 9,000 people are probably dying each day from COVID. This is revealed by a UK-based health data firm, Airfinity, which estimates that cumulative deaths in China since December the 1st likely reached 1 lakh, while infections total 1 crore 86 lakhs. In a statement, the firm said that the daily death toll is to peak on January the 23rd, with about 25,000 cases a day, with cumulative deaths reaching 5.84 lakh. Union Minister for Science and Technology Dr. Jitendra Singh has inaugurated the Incubation Centre at the National Research Development Corporation NRDC in New Delhi. The centre will provide multi-pronged support to startups. Dr. Singh noted that after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's announcement of Startup India, NRDC had reoriented itself to become the only national-level PSU, which is providing its services for taking the lab-scale technologies developed by public-funded research institutes to industry. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. India will assume the chairmanship of the plenary of the Wassenaar Arrangement today for 1 year. The Vasanar Arrangement is voluntary export control regime that monitors transfers of conventional weapons and dual-use goods. At the 26th annual plenary of the Wassenaar Arrangement held in Vienna last month, Ireland's ambassador O'Leary handed over the chairmanship to India's ambassador Jaideep Majumdar. India joined the Wassenaar Arrangement in December 2017 as its 42nd participating state. The regime is aimed at tracking such transfers and preventing destabilizing accumulations of conventional arms and dual-use goods. The plenary of the Wassenaar Arrangement is the main decision-making body that operates on consensus. As the incoming chair of the body, India remains ready and committed to work in close cooperation with other members to further the Wassenaar Arrangement goal of contributing to regional and international security and stability, External Affairs Ministry said. With dazzling fireworks and electrifying music, cities across India welcome the year 2023 with much pomp and show. From Delhi to Mumbai and Chennai to Kolkata, the mood on the December 31st night was like a merry-go-round. In Delhi, people in large numbers gathered at India Gate to celebrate New Year. Goa turned into a utopia of merriment with beaches dazzling with colourful lighting. In Kerala, thousands gathered on the beaches, hotels and tourist spots to welcome 2023. In Uttarakhand, people celebrated the arrival of the new year with dazzling lights, music and dance in Mussoorie. Similarly, a huge crowd emerged at Mal Road in Himachal Pradesh's Manali to welcome the new year. In Odisha's Puri, renowned sand artist Sudarshan Patnaik created an 8 feet high and 15 feet long sand sculpture of Lord Jagannath at Puri Beach to welcome the new year. Our Mumbai correspondent reports that Maharashtra ushered in the new year with countdown celebrations and fireworks at various prominent places in the state.
As the clock ticked 12 a.m., revelers stationed at various tourist places welcomed New Year 2023 by greeting and hugging each other. Famous tourist destinations like Mahabaleshwar, Matheran and other beachside places in Konkan were overwhelmed with revelers. Excitement was at its peak in Mumbai, the city of dreams, where people were swaying to the exhilarating musical extravaganza. At the pubs, a huge crowd flocked at the famous Girgaon Chowpatty, Juhu Chowpatty, Marine Drive and the Gateway of India, where special lighting has been done to welcome the new year. Well-known establishments have been decked up with colourful lighting in the city and in other parts of the state. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Nagaland, people cheered and wished one another a happy new year. Several midnight services were also held by churches and families. Revelers were seen moving around, conveying New Year wishes. Today being the first day of the new year, special services are being organized in churches to invoke the blessings of the Almighty for a prosperous year. President Draupadi Murmu and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar have greeted people on the occasion of New Year 2023. In a message, the President hoped that the new year will bring new happiness, goals, inspirations and greater achievements in everyone's lives. President Murmu urged people to rededicate themselves to the unity, integrity and inclusive development of the nation. In his message, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar said This joyous occasion is an opportunity to continue our efforts with greater vigor, ensuring the upward growth trajectory. Cities across the globe welcomed 2023 with fireworks and light displays. The Pacific nation of Kiribati was the first country to greet the New Year, followed by Auckland in New Zealand, where people celebrated the arrival of the New Year with fireworks launched from the city's Sky Tower. Sydney put on a spectacular display as ever, with fireworks launched from its Harbour Bridge and Opera House. Fireworks exploded over Victoria Harbour to celebrate the New Year in Hong Kong. Cheerful crowds released balloons in Tokyo, Japan, to the first strikes of the New Year as people in Seoul prayed and lit up the sky with their phones as they bid farewell to a painful year. In Nepal, the newly constructed Pokhara Regional International Airport will be operational from today. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda is scheduled to inaugurate the airport. Pom Narayan Shrestha, President of Pokhara Tourism Council, said that Pokhara is a major tourism destination of the country and the tourism industry will definitely benefit from the operation of the new airport. In Pakistan, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan TTP has announced its government with full cabinet. Directly challenging Pakistan's sovereignty, TTP announced its new appointments, dividing the outfits into various ministries such as Defence, Judiciary, Information, Political Affairs, Economic Affairs, Education, a Fatwa Issuing Authority, Intelligence, and a Department for Construction. According to sources, the TTP has divided areas in its loose control or contested with Pakistan into two provinces. Venezuela and Colombia will fully reopen their shared border today to allow passage of cargo and passenger transport via the cross-border Tiandita Bridge, Colombia Migration said in a statement yesterday. The South American countries already reopened in September their border crossing in the Táchira state in western Venezuela after political ties strengthened under Colombia's new president, Gustavo Petro. In tennis, Indian players endured a mixed bag on the opening day of the Maharashtra Open 2023 ATP 250 tennis tournament in Pune's Balewadi Sports Complex yesterday. Yuki Bhambri and Ramkumar Ramanathan successfully made it through to the second round of the men's singles qualifiers, but Prajnesh Guneshwaran, Siddharth Rawat and Aditya Vishal Balsekar bowed out after losing their first round qualifying matches. Fresh spell of cold wave is likely to start in northwest India from today. India Meteorological Department IMD said cold wave conditions are likely to occur in Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh and North Rajasthan during the next 4 days. And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Subhadra Ramachandran.
Thank you, Sunil. Giving a tough message to Pakistan, S. J. Shankar said while interacting with Indian diaspora in Cyprus that terrorism cannot be used as a tool to force India to the negotiating table, writes the Pioneer. Assam merges 4 districts ahead of January 1 delimitation deadline, headlines the Indian Express. The Times of India quotes the Dalai Lama as saying that China is trying to destroy Buddhism but can't crush people's faith in the Buddha. According to the BSF, 22 drones with weapons and drugs from across the border were caught in 2022, writes the Hindu. National Digital University to open new higher education avenues this year, reports the Times of India. Credit transfer option adds flexibility in earning degrees, writes the paper. And finally, Hindustan Times report the Education Ministry forms plan to bring in Bharatiya games in schools. This will include 75 indigenous games from different parts of the country. With that, it's back to you, Sunil.
Thank you, Subhadra. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Centre to roll out new integrated food security scheme from today. Over 81 crore people to get free food grain. Government reviews COVID situation in the country at a high-level meeting. RT-PCR test made mandatory for flyers coming from China and 5 other countries from today. India to assume chairmanship of Wassenaar Arrangement for 1 year today. People across the globe welcome New Year with dazzling fireworks and electrifying music. And Yuki Bhambri and Ramkumar Ramanathan enter second round in men's singles event at Maharashtra Open tennis tournament in Pune. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.